at Haven, and this feels like it should be pretty balanced out between these two teams. But regardless, I am so excited to kind of see how these teams are going to be popping off. I'm a big fan of that double duelist, the Neon and the Yoru coming out from the sides of 6 Karma. I like their playstyle being as aggressive as it is, so I think that we're in for some fun.
Something important to note here is previously 6 Karma had Joe on the Omen and Oda Q on the Yoru. They've swapped those positions coming into this first match, but Maestro is going to get the first blood of this match as 6 Karma is going to move in right through C main on top of this 2-stack in the backside, and FRZ is just as unstoppable on his own, but Mephisto will finally get to make that space. And this is the player that I think a lot of people are trying to pay as much attention to as possible. He has been making a lot of underground waves among the desk for sure. Gobshi's IGL here on Red Canids, the first to move back in for the interception as the spike goes down. Clear out the back of the box with this shock dart to start out. Has one more on top of a beautifully placed Paranoia. Mephisto just still mows him down, and it's down to RGL in this 1v3. So tough to cut through at this stage as 6 Karma continue to play doorman here on Link. And that seems like a pretty cut and dry attack round to start, Marks.
Yeah, it really does. An excellent job from 6 Karma to be able to just kind of move in there as a squad and as a unit and just honestly overwhelm the site there, especially for the very first round. And once again, they have to be able to win this one if they want to set themselves up to make themselves into the actual Ascension bracket. We're still in the play-ins here. But yeah, Maestro, an excellent first shot, but just overwhelmed by the power that 6 Karma kind of walked in onto the back site there. Excited to see how they're going to try and adapt to this one, because based on how 6 Karma have been playing previously, that kind of high octane style, the little bit more aggressive plays from all of their players individually, that could be that overwhelming force that Red Canids aren't necessarily prepared for. Coming into this next one is going to be Mephisto actually buying up that Phantom, as it's a bit more patient this time. Of course, right after I had just said that they like playing things fast.
What is important to note, again, with this role swap, Joe is so used to playing more of a staple, and it's going to be weird seeing him in such a mobile role here in this map, but he's going to get that first blood as he just quietly walks up A lane, makes that passive space that it looks like 6 Karma is going to try and sink their teeth into a little harder. Red Canids had a bigger stack on the C site. They even smoked off Maestro to try to get an off angle, but as usual, the pistol gamble on the 3-site map is tough to land.
And also, too, talking about Joe, I mean, we've seen Joe play Chamber quite a bit in the actual, Challenger circuit there. So, you know, being on that Yoru kind of makes sense to me, because if it wasn't Mephisto popping off on some of those maps, it was definitely Joe playing that Chamber. And so a little bit more versatility, a little bit more mobility can really support how 6 Karma are going to be playing around Joe, because Joe is kind of that knife in the back that really secures some of the rounds for 6 Karma when Mephisto's not able to put up the numbers there. So I actually like this Yoru pick. I think that this one can really be helpful for 6 Karma on this map.
100%. The more contentious role is definitely the controller, and you have to think about what Sabor is going through on this Cypher pick, as normally the smoker on just about every other map. A very strange role swap that you tend to see Sabor lean a little more actively into with these cages. Josera just going to walk right into lane number 2 and grab a 3K to total the round as this spike is going to go boom. Red Canids will end the round with 2 kills and everyone else dead.
And well, at least they're able to keep the most important weapons alive on the side of 6 Karma here. Red Canids trying their best to really catch some of the people just on the exit there. But unfortunately not able to make that one really the economic win that they were looking for. It's going to be Phantoms across the board moving into this 3rd round now. Curious to see how they're going to set up their defense, and also curious to see how 6 Karma now want to attack some of these sites. Are they going to be going for a little bit more of that flashier playstyle? They do a good job playing off of Odakyu's Paranoias. I've been pretty impressed with how they've been using those ones. So let's see how this round goes. It's going to be Gabs really early on just trying to get that information, and it will slow 6 Karma down just for a second and allow for a lot of that space outside of C to be at least claimed for the time being by FRZ.
Red Canids love setting up these early front lines to establish checkpoints without needing too much util, but God is going to guarantee that Josera's already walked all the way up with this Owl drone, and so he'll double down on the stack towards Sewer. 6 Karma's already used that active trap, or cage rather, to sell themselves across the lobby, so gotta slow it down. And they'll pressure Garage a little bit harder too. Noise made with the drone will alert FRZ to 6 Karma's split position, but not much you can do about it with the rifles that you've got. You just want to hold on to everything and play to your strengths. Maestro, great angle to knock Oda Q down to 66.
And that was kind of a gamble that 6 Karma were going for, you know, send the Neon, send the Sova all the way over to C. And they were hoping to draw some of the forces over there, but just a little bit of a spray down from Maestro, and immediately 6 Karma kind of doubled back. Right now, who I'm interested in is FRZ. This positioning could be absolutely important to try and take the duel there, but actually, Joe, able to find that shutdown just made this a lot more doable for 6 Karma to be able to get that spike down.
Yeah, they've easily won the foot race back here. Red Canids a little slow to rotate, but it's because they want to maintain the stack. That just means Mephisto gets a way bigger wave, and now the relay bolt to double back into his own angle. On top of that, he'll just fast track back into Link. He'll play Gatekeeper again. And Red Canids, they are pounding on that door with 3 rifles that they can't use. So it'll be a save around this bonus. What a start for 6 Karma. Just as explosive as we'd hoped, despite the mild shift that they took coming into this game. They are not nervous one bit.
And once again, I can't understate the importance there of Joe being able to find that kill outside of B. Just uses a Guardian as well, secures the headshot onto FRZ, and that just makes it so much easier for 6 Karma to be able to overwhelm the site. Especially when you look at how Joe's playstyle is going to be. I imagine it's going to be a little bit more on his own. He's going to be the one who's kind of just looking for these angles to try and find a couple of cheeky picks there, and just delivers perfectly to allow 6 Karma to now pick up this 3-round lead. This is an excellent start if you are coming in as this 6 Karma team.
Yeah, already getting this economic advantage going by maintaining 2 or 3 alive. So they'll be able to kind of stack that domino effect early on. And Red Canids, so much of these early rounds on defense do revolve around being a good doorstop out the gate. You see Prozine playing off of his life so often, just ready to launch so much. And he's going to play off of his own fault line entering here on Sewer. Red Canids going to establish a massive presence on the A lobby to start. They will be loud and proud. And even drain another one of Sabor's cages. Seems like that conditioning is starting to work. So forward with these Sheriffs.
Take this one. That's going to give good information here, but Meister getting traded out, that's going to work out well for 6 Karma, dropping one of the only weapons on the round.
Trying to coin flip with the TP. Joe going to take all of that potential damage and hop in. That's another C-site guaranteed.
Spike planted.
Sabor way back on the T door here. It seems like Maestro is not going to check all the way, though, and with those steps, there could be a tough backstab. And a necessary one, too. 6 Karma's stack is not as secure this time. Yeah, Gab sticking around way too long. And now, once again, it's just that Link presence. Able to make a cut. But so much time already wasted, and 6 Karma hasn't even started to play from the lane yet. Peloncito doesn't have any util, but he does have a friend, and Sabor still waiting in this garage. It's raw intimidation, and then the firepower. FRZ has got to do it all here. And even stuck against the spy cam, Cypher v Cypher, Sabor has every advantage waiting for him. Just toying with the cage, forcing him to stick to half, and finalizing that 4th round for 6 Karma. Some flourish added onto that one.
And a great round coming in from them. That time around, speaking of the macro game, it was almost like a 2-step attack. You know, the first step, a little bit slow, a little bit more calculated, a little bit more patient. And then as soon as they shift into that second gear, it's just such a fast attack onto the site. On top of that too, like even with all the speed that we see 6 Karma kind of go in, get that spike down with, they're still setting up for all of these moments to be able to work out perfectly. Specifically making sure that Sabor stays in position. Red Canids do not check that position, allowing that Cypher to just go absolutely insane on the backstab that round. An excellent job from the calling coming out from 6 Karma to try and read their opponent, set up that conditioning, and on top of that too, play mind games with them as they set up yet again to get out of there, but Mephisto gets gunned down in the midst.
Great early punish. Once again, Red Canids rewarded for playing with each other. And individuality was something that I think a lot of people questioned coming into this. These teams sharing very similar play styles of people being very willing to just start playing off of themselves if they think they can grab more than themselves as they go down. Prozine, I think out of the 10 players in this lobby, is the one that is forced to do that the most in these defensive situations. Gabshies is the one cornered by this dimensional drift tossed out by Joe. He still gets to flash this patch too while in it. And he's going to re-enter on top of the trap wire. That is unfortunate as Red Canids have a free reign on this A site now as 6 Karma get a forced reset and their first loss of the game.
All right, now listen, mistakes happen. You know, we're getting on the stage right now. Things are a little bit more difficult, needless to say. And the pressure is definitely mounting there. But that was one of those instances where Six Karma, one of the things that happens to a lot of these teams when they're going for kind of like that faster hit style, little mistakes get introduced to it, especially with the pace that they've really set on the past 4 rounds where they won it. It was very much just going off of instinct, being able to find those opportunities, find those timings, use the utility to really support those kills. But if one of the dominoes falls apart, then you see that they really struggle under that weight of being so fast, where that's when we're going to see Red Canids be able to exploit some of those weaknesses.
Yeah, Red Canids, they will make that Jenga tower fall if one of the wrong pieces is pulled. But Joe, first stab, that's big for them, and that lets Mephisto go wild with this overdrive. On this eco buy, the perfect kind of reset that Six Karma needs to get their momentum back in this. And after all of that noise is made to once again play keep away on the link, I'll get this spike down. And Red Canids, I mean, this is really tough. Do you even go for this at this point? Your eco is still a little bit fragile, and the 2v4 is tough. Yeah, they are not going to take it. It's going to be 5-1.
Yeah, and in the midst of all of that, we'll get the overdrive out of Maestro as well. Red Canids, I mean, as soon as they finally were able to get a little bit of momentum, a little bit of stopping power, just a cheeky little early kill on Mephisto on that previous round to kind of slow the Six Karma train down. Like Six Karma, they just pump the accelerator a little bit more, and suddenly they're zooming in onto that C site, just completely overwhelm things and win that one out just off the back of a single ultimate. Moving into this next round, they still will have that Hunter's Fury, still will have the Cypher ultimate for that information available. And right now, I am just such a big fan of this team. You know, in the actual challengers, always coming second place, finally finding their spot here in the Ascension play-ins, and now they're coming out, and they're coming out swinging. This would be a huge win if they're able to take out Red Canids on their own map pick.
A big start for what was considered the underdog of wherever they walked into for so long. You know, to beat HLOs as any team is definitely tough to do. You kind of insert yourself into the villain role, unfortunately, with how cursed they've been. But the way that Six Karma was able to battle back in those LATAM finals and represent Mexico solely coming into Ascension, everybody there is behind the green wave. Everybody is supporting these guys, and they feel that love. They feel that support. Talking about Mephisto a little bit more as well, being not only the duelist, but the guy who's been on the team the longest, the core, the most consistent guy, the face, the mascot. It is not often you see the duelist, the guy that is doing the most work in the kill feed, being willing to take on that extra responsibility as the explosive personality that he is on top of that. I'm really in admiration of how this Six Karma team has evolved in every aspect coming here, and they've received so much support from Brazil as well. I saw Mephisto posting about how Keed Stars was letting him boot camp there. That's a fun little OG crossover, isn't it?
Really scratching the back of the brain there, that's for sure. But yeah, that was a timeout being called there, I believe, by the Red Canids. And I think that's an excellent call coming in from them to not only just kind of like steady the mental, but also break this momentum in the Six Karma attack. You know, we got to be a little bit more patient. Those early prods weren't necessarily working, especially with the level of aggression that Six Karma were playing at. They were either getting traded out or just getting taken out completely in those early rounds. And so let's see how they want to do it this time. They're actually sending Maestro all the way up B. So we're unaware of all of this, but at least the Cypher trip will slow that down as Six Karma are ready to explode on the site.
Yeah, it's got to be such a quick crunch, especially if Red Canids are as fast, or excuse me, Six Karma as fast as they are. Joe stopped early on, and again, the dominoes will fall so quickly off of that. Second Gopshis is given an audience and a stage. He is just so vividly intelligent, and he'll dominate the kill feed this time around. Maestro, a little late to the party, but Pelencito won't get any more work done there, and that's 2 on the board for Red Canids. A timeout called well.
Yeah, that was like, that round was over as soon as it started, basically. You see the different positioning getting set up there, but there's also just setting up in order to counterplay some of that utility coming through there. The Hunter's Fury also gets utilized by Six Karma to try and force the front door open, but unfortunately it just kind of falls flat. It's just simple crossfires and ADing on the actual site around a lot of this utility that works out. A perfectly timed flashpoint coming out stops the front door on that Neon, not able to find anything. And then the rest of the 6 Karma squad are just afraid to walk in onto the site. So a good adaptation coming in from Red Canids. Let's see if they can keep this one moving forwards, or if they're going to fall for some of the tricky plays that 6 Karma are kind of coming into this one with their half buy.
Great step out! Doubly so from Prozine and Gob. This double initiator has been so key to being able to put a fork in the road for 6 Karma's sequentiality on their attack. You're able to interrupt it with that fault line or that flashpoint like you saw. And that's such a good reason why Prozine is willing to just unload his kit. Fast lane and the tap on the spike for Mephisto to try to get some util out, and it will. Fault line and a recon dart, drawing a little bit of everything to the side of the crime. Now, 6 Karma will try to turn that into a snake through garage, another drone through the window, and it's slow, it's a little sluggish. It sets up Maestro with this operator, but does it give him a good angle? No, FRZ though has it all! And Maestro's work is suddenly cut in twain. The rest of Red Canids is here, and 6 Karma, too slow this time, buddy.
It almost felt like a flashback of when we got to see Sabor do exactly that on Garage. Like, FRZ just from the back line just walks in and is like, oh, I guess I'm going to be killing all of you now, and makes it so easy. Like, all of that pressure, all of that aggro being drawn towards the duelists on the site with the operator. They're like, all right, let's get ready. We're going to like flash ourselves in. It's going to be a good time. And then suddenly everyone's dead just because a Cypher walked in behind you. It's so funny that that's how this round was kind of dictated there. But what I'm noticing is that these initial fights are so important for Red Canids to be able to win out if they want to stop things. When they're able to find that first initial pick, when they're able to catch somebody off guard from 6 Karma, that's when we see them convert into Red Canids rounds. Previously, we saw them kind of holding on to their utility a little bit more, you know, playing a little bit more patiently and all of that type of stuff. But I think during the timeout, maybe the call was, as soon as you kind of hear a little bit of noise or think that something might be happening, play safe for a kill or a trade, and then back up and then just get out of there. Because that time around, like, you could tell as soon as the Oru steps out there, Joe, going for the ultimate orb, like 3 players from Red Canids step out, they secure the kill, it's nice and easy, and then they get out clean. If they can continue to do that against 6 Karma, then this could very easily start to swing back in their favor.
Yeah, those surgical moments really look like a team diff when they happen, but Red Canids still having trouble finding the pockets that 6 Karma inevitably allow themselves with this explosivity. Seems like we're trying to get another early fight going here. Letting Maestro maybe get a little farther in off rip with the help of FRZ, just kind of facilitating. Meanwhile, cutting in with the Hunter's Fury off the gate. Sabor's down to 50 effective health, and now that's the excuse to crunch. Maestro gets away with the first blood and is out of there.
And that's what we love to see from a Neon play. Like, all of that utility, all of that pressure was more or less just to support Maestro to be able to walk out there and find such an early kill early on, and then immediately just backing out. I mean, sure, the Hunter's Fury does give good information, but ultimately it is to find that first pick onto Sabor. And now let's see if exactly what I said comes true, because we are starting out Red Canids finding that first pick. Will 6 Karma be able to pull this round back?
No fast lane and no relay bolt now. So Red Canids have to be aware of how much stronger 6 Karma's post-plant game is still going to be despite the 4v5. Recon dart, again, early after a little noise is made on the garage. Got forced to just watch it. Joe steps in. Entourage in the garage. Now the snake in. With the help of the smokes coming up from O to Q, it's nice and segmented, but they still have to get mobile. And Mephisto is in. He's got to be the linchpin. Joe with the TP. And there's the double duelist working. Making that noise on the C site and taking it over. But that flank from RGL, as always, looking to be a thorn in the side. Is anybody watching? Looks like Peloncito is. And once he get on that site, he is that bobby pin that just keeps everybody able to extend. Joe a little stuck in this corner at this point. And it's going to get finalized after FRZ goes for peak number 2, but now smoked away with this operator. Makes it so much harder for yet another link entry, and RGL is down. So it's got to be Garage, and Maestro can't cut it either. FRZ will have to let this go. And 6 Karma do enough work getting on site. That is all it takes.
Honestly, that is all it takes. what was so important there was that kind of crossfire madness that we get set up into the back of the site there. Obviously, we know the Yoru can teleport back there. Joe goes way back into the backside. And then you just see Mephisto just running in onto the site, swinging the mouse left, right, and center, looking for a kill. But it's that level of just like distraction and disruption onto that site that cracks the whole thing wide open. And then, of course, like you see that there's a little bit of additional pressure coming in from that post plant of the two players on Six Karma trying to push through. And then this is one of those moments where Peloncito is able to just kind of hang out onto the site, watching two angles, mind you, cuts down both of the potential backstabs that Red Canids were trying to get online, and then the rest is going to be history. An excellent adaptation for Six Karma, now getting themselves up to 6 rounds, and so they've at least guaranteed that even half, and now they're going to be dipping in to try and find a little more.
RGL, after getting procced by that recon, is going to be forced to TP away. Red Canids, again, they'll just increase the stack so reactively. And once again, an early claw for intel. Looks like it only saw Sabor, though. And these Cypher inserts and lurks have long been convincing.
Ending ahead.
Recon into the swing into 2! And there's RGL playing forward this time around. That's been a lot more common on Haven in the past. Gopchi's now having to play that extra line of defense while Prozine just unloads the kit to try to play keep away, but Six Karma are in, and they are proud. Prozine and Gob, they can still hold the lines up, and Peloncito is the one that has to once again set up the command center. He will take the wide angle, and now Hell on top of the drone. It's down to he and OdaQ to lock this down. And once things are procced, Peloncito can use the Hunter's Fury to fully box out Red Canids. This is so unconventional, but it does give the time for FRZ to take Heaven now. OdaQ having to watch from Graffiti as this spike is stuck under Hell. Meanwhile, Maestro has already gotten to the lane. This is so unconventional from both sides, but it seems like everyone's expecting each other. Maestro with this operator. It's full dry swings all the way. FRZ having to make monumental space now. Both kills too as Pelon turns onto it. Can FRZ keep this gap tight? No, it's 4 for the IGL as Six Karma continuing to pop off and take this lead forward.
That is unbelievable, man. I was so impressed with what Red Canids, the decision-making process there. Okay, we see the Hunter's Fury. Let's set ourselves up. We're going to be moving things around just to make sure that we've got that space. And I thought for sure it was going to be working out perfectly. You've got the Neon going all the way back around, and yet again, it's just Peloncito just being like, you know what? No, we're going to shut this down. Making excellent decisions in that kind of micro play style. And this is one of the things that the desk focused on for Six Karma. In those individualistic moments, they tend to be a little bit more organized. And that is going to be the difficulty that Red Canids are going to try and have to walk around here. Josera gonna be going down very early.
That's another toughie of an ulti, but it gets Six Karma on, and that's the job you're trying to do. RGL double dipping into this TP back, somehow finds a head before going down. That was so quick. And Gopchi's with the backstab on the double initiator that just continues to be a thorn in this side. Six Karma continue to commit to the C side, and Mephisto already has the back angle. El Demonio with 3 this round. And Six Karma make it 8.
Oh, I'm still just so impressed with the micro that's going on here. I mean, obviously we can talk about the overall strategy, you know, the slowdowns, the pushes, all of that type of stuff. But in these smaller moments, I do feel like Six Karma always comes out on top. The paranoia perfectly timed out there to allow the Neon to swing through, get 2 nice and easy kills. It's chaotic as ever. You see Red Canids trying to match the tempo that Six Karma are setting, but Six Karma are just the masters of that speed and of that aggression, and they're really flexing it just to make sure that Red Canids know that.
Trying to cash in on C again for this last round of the half. Red Canids forced to 3 Guardians. Yipes! Poor Gopchi's already head tapped. Spread so thin. Joe, keep on working that corner you TP into, and it's Red in the kill feed again. Just continuing to lock out this link like it's nothing, and Red Canids can't even extend into the garage. It's not worth it. There's not enough time. It's 5 on 2. Prozine makes a dent and continues to try to force off angles, force that persuasion to link off of this link, but Mephisto is committal and still at full HP inside this smoke. Everything launched, and he is completely unfettered. Give him one more, sure. Why not? 9-3 on the half for 6Karma, and Red Canids in need of some support. We'll head to the floor now, where an interview with some family may provide it.
Prima do Fogão. E, Roberto, queria já saber um negócio. A gente sabe que o apelido dele é Fogão, porque toda vez que vocês ligavam o fogão, cai a internet, desligar o computador. Arrumou já a fiação lá?
Arrumou.
Arrumou.
A casa tá em ordem,
Era o computador. Mas, ó, a primeira metade aí não foi muito boa pra Riot Games ainda, mas a gente quer saber como é que fica o coração aí, vendo essa situação do filhão.
Ai, fica apertado o coração, uma vontade de ir lá e dar um chacoalhão e falar, reage.
Pode ir lá, agora não deixe segurança segurar você não, pode liberar. Vai lá.
Tá, com certeza.
E, mano, ô Matheus, mostra pra nós aí o que você trouxe. Mostra pra nós o que você trouxe. Na moral, imprimiu as figurinhas do Zap. Você acha que ele vai ficar nervoso com você?
Acho que não, tem que apoiar o irmão. O irmão serve pra isso.
Pra encher o saco.
Exatamente.
Mas é irmão mais velho que enche o saco, não o mais novo.
Não, mas aí me dá opção, né?
Deixa eu ver de novo aqui, eu vou pegar uma aqui, ó. Luquinha, segura uma aqui, Luquinha. Fica aí. Mas é isso, V7, olha, vamos aqui. 9-3 é pra virar, pai. Não tem essa não, vai Fogão.
Bora, vamos, Red, vamos!
I wish I could provide so much more material with that than I can. Unfortunately, I'm not nearly as bilingual as so many other members in the studio at the moment. But look, as Red Canids prepare for this own attack half marks, they are going to need this energy boost. They are going to need to be as explosive as 6Karma was, because every hope that every Mexican fan had about them to start this out has been met. Mephisto is free as a bird.
Yeah, and to be fair, like, you're saying that Mephisto is free as a bird, but I genuinely think that is 6Karma really playing smart around it, at least in those initial setup scenarios, and then being very responsive to make sure that Mephisto is getting the utility that he needs, gets into the position that he needs, and then he can just kind of do his thing. But of course, historically speaking, 6Karma on Haven, attack was their preferred side. They've gotten quite a bit of a lead for themselves now. 9-3, you know, pinch a little bit of salt, throw it over your shoulder or something like that. Maybe knock on some wood here. But this is looking like it should be a really good map win for 6Karma to be able to get this one out. And then, of course, I mean, this is Red Cannon's map pick. We're going to move into Abyss, regardless of what happens here. And obviously, 6Karma, I do think that they are prepared for this. And so things are only just going to continue to raise in stakes here. Red Cannon's now on this attack, creeping up here as they don't decide actually to go in and attack. They dump a little bit of util, but immediately kind of back out there just after, well, the fault line goes off.
I'm in admiration of Sabor selling that activity by playing the camera so forward. He really sold the stack for a moment. And while 6Karma is now here, Red Canids, once again, ahead of the problem, already rotating away. 6Karma almost psyching themselves out with how well a job Sabor did at intimidating them. But they will be prepped as Red Canids make the long trek forward. You have to be prepared for either of the duelists to be a cutoff point, and you don't want to use any of this util until you get on site. Such a tough balance to manage, but 6Karma is going to stay back.
This is what the movie The Long Walk is about. I understand, but Maester now up at the pace and going to be going in onto the site after a bit of initiation as Peloncito goes down.
Same kind of thing that Mephisto has been wanting to do. Maestro will do the same thing with the facilitation of Prozine. Unloading that same amount of kit. Sabor with 2. Mephisto extends to Graffiti and resets again. 30 seconds to go in the 2v2. Prozine doesn't feel good about it. Mephisto running it down, trying to chase him. Great trap play. And with 20 seconds to go, Red Canids will have just enough time to get a free sight to themselves in a 2v1.
Felt like the entire team was just discombobulated as to what was going on there. Both sides not entirely sure, but the call gets made. Prozine now going over onto the C site will guarantee that spike to go down here. And Sabor, this is going to be a little bit of a tall order. 68 HP going up against 2 classics. But Gabs, well, still has that light shield online. So It's going to be quite difficult to try and do, but regardless, has to try and make this opportunity come alive. Both of the Red Canids player playing so far down in C.
Gotta be everything for support. Camera back, will he place it as proactively on the lane? No need. Gobshees gives him a wave. Might as well run it down, my friend. Into the double. And that is guaranteed. A well-played pistol to start things out for Red Canids to get their own momentum going. Essentially the same kind of unloading that they expected to do. It just took a little longer.
Yeah, and honestly, I do like the call there, because you see the kill comes through, and then it's like, okay, well, do we still commit to that A site? You know, do we back off of here right now? Understanding that there still might be one potential player. You don't want to take any risks at this point. So the call gets made. Frozen goes all the way over onto that C site, guarantees that they can play the numbers advantage. And especially in these kind of like high pressure environments, it's so easy to be a little bit greedy, be a little bit more fun and creative with your decision making, but just plays it safe, guarantees the round, and that is what Red Canids need. They're going to be doing that C walk up yet again. It will be smoked off just from the other side, but a little bit of a gap will make sure that Red Canids will have a better idea that they should be able to dominate this C site if they do decide to walk in on it.
Tough thing is about this comp on the attack is, as opposed to the Yoru that 6 Karma has, you can't really break out of an Omen smoke if you're stuck in it. With the breach flashes. So I think a lot of the time Red Canids are going to try and condense fights to ODQ's smokes and then extend once they launch their own smokes. You saw that in the pistol to take A at first and it almost worked out there. This time, they will not have much of an audience for the C-site takeover. Looks like 6 Karma is going to play purely for exits at the moment, not take any huge risks.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good round from Red Canids then. You know, hey, we actually picked the right site this time. Nice and easy to go through. Mephisto going to try and do a little bit of economic damage. The flood-in comes through, but it's just going to be ultimate orbs actually lined up for Red Canids there. Tavor, last person alive, looking for something, but Maestro will be able to keep the rifle into the next round, which honestly I think was the most important weapon for 6 Karma to kind of drop there. But it is going to actually work out perfectly for Red Canids. A lot of ultimate orbs go their way. They keep a majority of their weapons. I believe I saw 4 of their members still alive. And most importantly, that Phantom going to be online to set themselves up for a beautiful bonus.
And Prozine is only 1 orb away from that Rolling Thunder as well. There's a lot of ways that Red Canids is going to be able to reset and slow things down. Again, play to their own sequence rather than 6 Karmas. Maestro doing a little extra farming as well, just trying to get this cycle going. This is a great opening too from Red Canids. If they finish here, if they get the same bonus that 6 Karma did, then this game could go anywhere on their own pick. Have to have that faithfulness to the attack. Again, not as much breakout potential. You have to maintain the discipline. Prozine holding that util. Joe continuing to walk up. That is a beautiful proactive play from the Yoru. Yet again, you already see how much better he feels on this than the Omen. Meanwhile, Mephisto having to play police here in the garage as the rest of the team tries to wander onward, and Mephisto can only make so much headway. Red Canids continue to try to pound on that door, and now they'll snake through to C after it's taken over by Gob.
This is going to be a very tough one. You see now, 4 members of 6 Karma still alive. Going to play this retake into Red Canids, and it looks like they're going to be using the buddy procedure here. Grouping up 2 and 2, try and fight the members of Red Canids. Numbers advantage squarely with 6 Karma. Let's see how they play this out.
Farther forward, taking the fight to them. Prevent the extra angles, but only Gob's good for 1. And so 6 Karma keeping 3 steady for this bonus round. Rhythm starting to be established. Joe only 1 away from that dimensional drift as well. A lot of win cons starting to enter the atmosphere as we get into double digits.
And yeah, it's so funny because you can see the plan coming through from Red Canids on that round. Oh yeah, let's set Prozine up there so that we can get the fault line ready to go. It's going to make them think that we're going to be rushing in on that side. And meanwhile, it's a flooded on garage. We can swarm into the back of the site there, you know, catch people off on B, catch people on the retreat. It's going to be perfect. But Joe walking up alone, kind of being that exploratory secondary duelist, walks out there, catches Prozine util in hand, completely unaware, doesn't find anybody else, and suddenly the jig is up. Red Canids, they have nowhere to go, and they just walk into the 6 Karma grinder, and it works out perfectly for 6 Karma on their defense. So an excellent just kind of little small play from Joe that really secures the plan for the 6 Karma to win that round.
Such a crucial change to 6 Karma's game plan that's paying off such dividends in this opening match of Ascension. Really incredible to see already the adjustments being made by the team that everybody expected to be the underdog. Seaside overtake. 6 Karma here on the party early. They have the Rolling Thunder for him. Mephisto unaffected, but Maestro ready! And the fast lane to cut short any other angle to punish. FRZ maintaining Garage momentarily. Cut short by Sabor. 4v3 as the spike goes down. OdaQ taking initiative. Stopped by Prozine. Now he can let go of his kit and play doubly on the prongs. Red Canids mow down the competition this round and own Seaside themselves. It's 6-10.
Yeah, slowly and steadily, we see Red Canids climb that ladder one ring at a time, making it closer and closer to evening out that score line here, and they look cool as ever under that pressure. We're once again watching 6 Karma play. Sometimes it feels like there's a squad of excited puppies that are just ready to run onto the site there. I mean, if it still gets caught up in the Rolling Thunder, there's not a proper setup in order to make sure that they're able to trade off of one another. And it's just these long sight lines that Red Canids, just in pure raw gunfights, are able to win out here. It's gonna be a bit faster, but it's gonna be, you know, sheep crashing horns against each other.
Great trap play set up by Joe. But again, it's recrunched by Red Canids. They were prepared for this. Doesn't mean they won't lose anything along the way. And in fact, with Prozine gone, it's tough to dump without Maestro kind of letting go of everything. Perhaps a temptation to use this overdrive to finalize in such a tight space. 6 Karma, the stack is here. Why not? You got the worst guns. Great guess with the shock dart, but it's gotta be Joe. Maestro, another 3-piece for the Neon here. These duelists starting to once again get so well enabled by these teams. I love seeing the communication levels that these other regions have aspired to at the same pace as North America this year. Really feels like everyone has their finger on the pulse.
It really does, and a bit of a chaotic start to this round. Joe being able to find a couple of kills there made it seem like there was a chance that 6 Karma were going to be able to win that one out. But once again, just the raw firepower from Red Canids, you know, willing to take that duel. They know that they can kind of win things out on that gunfight, and so they're not afraid to showcase it and really make 6 Karma kind of second guess themselves a little bit more. This time around, going to be even weaponry coming in from both these sides. Of note, Joe does have that operator online, and depending on where this Yoru gets set up, that could be good at shutting down things. But it does look like Red Canids, well, they're going back over to their favorite site. A lot of pressure on the C while they make that slow walk up. That is going to give up all of the information as to where these players are going. So you're going to have to call an audible, and it looks like they're going back to Garage. It's their safety pick when they're kind of floundering.
And now that the trap wire is gone, it feels a little safer at least. Oh, it'll call in the Hunter's Fury here from Peloncito after Maestro makes a double run-in, and it'll drain some fuel, but nothing else for Red Canids. That's a good trade of util. But double flank. Joe walking down A lane, and Sabor, now hearing all those steps, will say, maybe my lurk will not be as effective. I will go into my stack instead. And 6 Karma is ready to fight again. Smoke a little late to the problem. Maestro ahead of all of this util. Does it matter? No! Mephisto holds down the corner, and the rest of the stack has to do the dirty work. Prozine and Argel
30 seconds left.
able to cause some damage. But RGL down in the 1v3 and has to extend again just to prevent against all of this extra stuff in the kit that 6 Karma has. Great read onto Joe, though, as he's made the long way around. And that opens up the A site. No, the fake! That Peloncito won't hear a couple extra seconds that RGL will get in the 1v2.
Oh my goodness, I'm watching a whole bunch of fakes
And
left, right, and center.
Steps out of the smoke, OdaQ! Man. Again, a lot of flourish and a great attempt, but Red Canids just cannot cut it through.
Man, and yeah, they're able to get the operator there, but honestly, like 6 Karma, it was one of those rounds where it felt like they were shepherding Red Canids all over the map. Like Red Canids, they were all grouped up, ready to kind of play off of a lot of those trades there. But okay, we want to go this way. Never mind, shut down by utility. Okay, we want to go here. Oh no, Hunter's Fury. I guess we're not going that way. We want to go here. Oops, somebody has died. Never mind. I guess we're gonna go onto that C site. And if it wasn't for RGL trying to play the mind game there, I think that it would have happened a lot quicker, that we would have seen the collapse of 6 Karma just on top of Red Canids. And honestly, it's those little moments of, you know, not being able to play the strategy that they had in mind, because if you see that grouping up happen from Red Canids, that implies that they want to just go in fast and furious, but they're not able to. So then they have to kind of back themselves up there. And then as a result of that, they've lost so much more map control that things start to fall apart. And suddenly you do have a Yoru with an operator in your back line, just able to find a free kill. And so once again, like 6 Karma, they're doing just an excellent job of that macro play, which once again was where we expected Red Canids to kind of outclass this Mexican squad.
Such a tough balance for Red Canids of when they want to overwhelm with the util with this double initiator, because in that last round you saw in Garage, they had so much to just take it over, but in that small time frame, you don't have the time to launch a shock dart to guarantee the loss of that trap wire. And so you walk in, you lose FRZ for free, and you're forced to, what, poke again? Because now you know that that's the site that's weakest. It's such a tough way to generate any sort of intel when you have all of this power to be able to get it in the first place, but you have to kind of choose one lane with the speed that 6 Karma has to be able to meet that threat on this double duelist. It is either know what you're walking into or walk into it. There is no in between.
All right, grab your slushies. It's the 7-Eleven around. Mephisto already popping the ult here. Walking out and not able to find anything. So a good adaptation, at least, from Red Canids to kind of temper that aggression. Joe, though, really pushed up here with that operator yet again. And FRZ just kind of keeping that honest. So they're doing a better job right now of trying to control some of these other sites before they just commit to sending all of their players into this one side. Let's see if Maestro can make something happen.
Bob has been drained to 10. He's going to have to see so much further back now. That's just these shock darts left. Probably going to try and use them for just some pre-plant lineups, I imagine, knowing that the stack has to be here. But do they know Mephisto is this close with this Bucky? Yeah. It's silly time. And Maestro, the jump doesn't work. He still gets it. And now he can reset for angle number 2. Go for the backup plan.
Oh,
no,
no
doesn't work. Is that a double? Are you joking?
Kidding me, man?
Come on. Half the pellets getting one, half the pellets getting the other. This guy just does anything he wants.
There's no way that we just witnessed a buck. Does that count as a collat? No, I don't think it counts as a collat.
That's ridiculous. And that's so stalwart, too. It's sitting there.
Yeah. Like, the player with the weakest weaponry just found the most value on 6 Karma to now get them up to map point. Just playing around with the Bucky, you know, just playing those close quarters, able to escape. There's no punish, most importantly, from Red Canids. No extra utility, really, to try and deny anything or, you know, trap that Neon from running away. And so now, backs against the wall. They have to make this one work.
And it's got to be quick again, Joe. Great meet early with this operator on a Maestro once again. You have no front line, and FRZ also cut short. It's got to be even faster now. Balls to the wall, make or break. And again, you have this corner patrol to let the rest of the stack walk in. And once again, 6 Karma overwhelms and conquers. The green wave is growing, and the tide is shifting. 6 Karma have match point against Red Canids.
An unbelievable showing from 6 Karma. Once again, walking into this one, there was a little bit of doubts as to whether or not Haven was going to be their map. Everyone was kind of saying that Red Canids, this should work out in their favor, specifically on these map vetoes and bans. And honestly, I really got to say, swapping Josera onto that Yoru, moving things around a little bit more, felt so instrumental to securing a lot of that double duelist pressure, set Mephisto up for even more